And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, Tom Vasel here, and today we're taking a look at Copy or Not Copy. This is from Blue Orange Games. Now, I'm not a big baker. I don't know much about baking at all. But if there's one thing, I don't know why I remember this so well, my mom taught me that when you're rolling cookie balls to make cookies, you always copy the original cookie. You don't copy the last one, because if you do that, eventually the copies will change. And I found this as when I would have to write something 1,000 times. I don't know why. If I copied each sentence and I missed a word, eventually you were missing a word or two at the end. Well, in this game, you're trying to find the original, not the copies. It's sort of a puzzle, but one that players are trying to be the first one to do. Let's take a look. So there are many different cards in Copy or No Copy. Here you see one with hot air balloons. Here's one with mosquitoes. Here's one with aliens. Here's one with fish. There's another one with fish. There's multiple copies of the cards. There's cupcakes. Here's another cupcake one. And there's some umbrellas. So what you're going to do essentially for each one of these is you are trying to find the original. Now, in each card, there's going to be 4 or 5 things. One of them is the original, the other 4 are copies. The way you know something is a copy is if it's missing something that the other 4 or 3 have. So, for example, you can see the pink one here does not have a person in the basket, so the pink one is definitely a copy. The yellow one does not have string, so therefore the yellow one is a copy. The red one, the person in the red balloon, does not have a hat, while the other 3 gentlemen have hats, so therefore this one is a copy. And the green one is missing a star on the balloon that the other ones have, therefore the green one is a copy, which means that the blue is the original one. So there's different ways to play the game. You could essentially flip over a card, and whoever shouts out the copy first wins the card. You could play a solitaire type game where you turn over each card and see how many you can get done in 2 minutes. You could also play with these discs where you put out colored discs, and players will grab discs that equate to copies, and you get points for each disc that you grab. And so there's just different ways to play the game, but it's essentially all going to come down to those same points. First of all, I'm very impressed with just a simple concept of this game. I love the fact that there's 2 cards. So for some reason you're like, it's the yellow dinosaur, and you remember it's the yellow dinosaur. It might not be the yellow dinosaur. So each of the cards is a little bit different. But it's getting, especially under pressure, sometimes I'm looking at these and I'll get like 1 or 2, but then I'm like, well, what's different about each of the other ones? And I think that's neat. Now you might run into a problem if someone is colorblind and they're trying to differentiate between a couple of them. Figuring out which one is not the copy will not be affected by being colorblind, but shouting out the color or grabbing the appropriate disc might be available. But for kids, I think this is especially useful. I really like it, especially I think as a solitaire game, or just as an activity. Here, kids, figure out which one's not the copy, and then explain to me why. That's good. They look at it and say, this isn't all 3 of these. You're thinking backwards in a sense, because you're looking for the one that has a little bit of everything. This is very similar to those what's different pictures that I used to do in Highlights magazine, and now I guess there's apps that do these things. So the kids are trying to find these as quickly as they can on each of these, but I think that overall it's just a very simple, easy concept for them to understand. They're trying to find the one that is the least unique. I guess that's the best way to put it. And you have to explain for a while, but once you figure it out, it's good. It makes them think. Now, as a game, it's decent. You will find that someone is faster than other people. However, there are many games where you flip the card over, right? And the person's like, there it is, right? This one, you can't do that. You have to think a little bit before grabbing it. And I especially like the version in this one where you have the discs and you're simply grabbing the copies, and you want to do that as fast as you possibly can. That works really well because even if someone's faster, there's no way they're going to be able to grab all the discs, and each person will be able to collect discs, making them feel better. So I recommend this one. The artwork is bright, it's colorful. Each of the pictures themselves are fun. They're toys or they're little things that kids will like. looking for the differences between them. Do you see which one here is the copy? Well, probably instantly most of you eliminated the red one. And then the blue one doesn't have the screw marks there. And the pink one doesn't have the ball at the bottom. And the yellow one's missing the black thing. It's green. See? That's a very easy, simple thing to do. But it does make you think, and it provides some educational value. So I like this one. Copy or not copy, especially for kids. Dice Tower Judgment approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!